Begin this morning by calling a Bridge Congregational meeting to order. I first have a recommendation from the Board of Deacons to the congregation regarding a change of membership status for a number of individuals. Where possible, these individuals have been contacted personally about their wishes in regard to these recommendations. First, we recommend these individuals, their status be changed from active to inactive status. Allison Kane, I don't have her married name, I'm sorry. She's living in New Hampshire. Larry Kane, Maureen Kane, Jean Duncan, Ed Dwelly, Sandy Farrar, Jacob Fortier, Olivia Fortier, Peter Fortier, Kimberly Kilmany, Leanna Manning, Mary Robertson, and Paul Robertson. And then to be changed status from non-resident active to active, Jeremy Walters, who was still on the non-resident from Cleveland College, to be to active. And then to be changed from inactive to active, Viola Swenson. So this is a recommendation from the Board of Deacons that these be changed in terms of their membership status. Are there any questions? Anybody have a question? Yes.
Has Olivia been contacted?
I'm sorry?
Has Olivia Fortier been contacted?
Yes.
Okay.
I talked to her by phone. Yes. She's being married today, actually, tonight. But she's living in New Hampshire, so there's no plans for her coming back here. Any other questions? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. The second item is that for the past couple of years, Sue and I have been considering the status of our call to ministry. After much prayer and thought, Sue and I have concluded that God is calling me to retire from full-time ministry. Therefore, today I'm announcing my resignation as pastor of Bethany Baptist Church effective December 31st, 2014. Until that time, I intend to serve you full-time as pastor as Bethany prepares for a transition in pastoral leadership. As most of you know, it's been proposed by the trustee board that there be a transition from compensating the pastor with free housing at 313 Pearl Street to a financial compensation package of a housing allowance to be used with the pastor's discretion for his housing. The Leadership Council is currently working on, is still in the process of putting together a proposal that will outline the details of what that will look like. But I want to make it very clear that my decision to resign was not in any way prompted by the actions of the trustees. In fact, when the subject was brought up at the trustee board meeting for discussion last spring, I, at that time, told them I was open to the idea of doing a transition at that time, knowing myself that I was planning to resign by the end of the year. Now, since my compensation package as pastor includes use of the parsonage, by the time my resignation becomes effective on December 31st, we plan to have vacated 313 Pearl Street. So, along with my resignation, I'm happy to announce that the Lord seems to be giving us the opportunity to purchase a home of our own for the very first time in our lives. We hope to move south. A couple of weeks ago, we made an offer and it was accepted to buy a home in Hubbardston. That we hope will meet our need for housing in the coming years. We're excited and a little anxious about this new adventure in our lives. But we believe that God is going before us and is preparing the way. I want to thank the deacons who have helped us in making this final decision over the past 6 months, and other leaders and friends who have supported us in this whole process. This decision has been one of the most difficult in all of our career. We love this church, and we do not want to do anything to harm this church. In 28 years, we've been through many ups and downs. you have been faithful in supporting us in the worst of times. And I have tried to be faithful to you as well. So I just want to say that we love you, and we will be praying for you as you seek the Lord's guidance for the future, both as a church together and in your individual lives as you walk with Him in everything. And we also ask you to pray for us as we make this transition and as we seek God's will in this next season of our lives. God's will for ourselves. I just want to give you the opportunity. If anybody has a question, I think about this for a while, and you see that I was reading it because I didn't want to say it wrong. But, yes, Elaine, you have a question?
Yes, Pastor. I have several children who have desired to marry them in the future. When that point comes in time, will you still perform their ceremony to that?
I will perform marriage ceremonies, but if the church calls another pastor, I will not do a marriage ceremony without his consent. Ed Lindquist has always followed that practice where he has done weddings. He has never done a wedding here since he resigned as pastor, and since I became pastor without asking my consent. I don't want to do anything to in any way damage the ministry of whoever comes to be pastor. So
Would you do one off-site?
off-site is a different subject too. Yeah. I don't plan to retire from ministry just from full-time ministry. And when you're called, you're always called, and you do as long as you have strength to do it. We just don't know what it's going to look like. So, yeah. Oh, microphone, yes. Okay. Yours. My microphone's on, all right? It's not? Oh. Actually, my microphone is on, but it just happens to be the microphone in my hearing aid. I can hear me just fine. I have it on so I can hear you. So, okay. Anybody else have a question? Yes. Oh, yes. Pam, sorry. I'm sorry.
Will you continue to attend here?
Pardon?
Will you continue to attend here?
Probably for a time, but that gets complicated. Down the road, if you call a pastor, I don't want to interfere with another pastor. So that's one of the questions we don't completely know. I mean, we certainly want to continue to enjoy our friendships with people here and fellowship with people here and so on. I don't want to do anything that would be unethical in terms of another pastor, but it's one of those questions that's kind of.
It will partly depend on whoever comes.
Mm-hmm.
Dan has had a really good relationship with Ed Lindquist, always.
Right.
But
right.
you can't take that for granted.
Right. When Ed resigned, went away, and came back, and then decided to join this church, he didn't do it without calling me and say, "I'm thinking about joining the church. How do you feel about it?" And I had a very good relationship with Ed, and I knew that he would never interfere. He was always respectful of my ministry, and so it depends on a lot of things. It's hard. It's a hard question to answer. Yeah. But I mean, we're only going to be in Hubbardston, so. Yes.
Actually, I'm a visitor today. This is my first time in your church. And I was just watching today on how a church is supposed to work, because I have no clue. I'm a brand new Christian, and I'm blown away walking into this morning. And I'm really sorry that you're leaving, because 28 years, you have a lot of wisdom, sir. You know what? And I'm really sorry to see that. I'm really sorry to see you go. I don't even know you, but I know that 28 years is a long time to be in one place.
Yes, it is.
I'm sure that everybody in here definitely miss you. Oh my goodness. I'm really sorry to see you go, because I'm looking forward to finding a church family, and here you are leaving. Okay.
Well, the church is not the pastor. It's never been.
I get that. I get that.
So, the church will still be the church.
These
So.
are nice people. You should come here.
These are nice people. You should come Okay, anybody else have a question? Yes, Bruce.
I don't have a question, but I'd like to make a statement. We've been coming to this church regularly for the last, and been members for about the last 11 years. And you've been a good friend to our family and to the rest of the church. And upon that, I would like to see the congregation give the pastor and his family a round standing ovation.
Very kind. Another question? Well, feel free to ask individual questions later on. We're going to be here 3 months still, so